Wanted to talk to you today about my experience of finding out more about my LinkedIn network. Um, I don't know whether you've heard about all of the LinkedIn local events that are going on, but I thought it was a really interesting idea to really meet those people around you who are virtual contacts of yours potentially. So I went to the one in Bristol, and it was great just to see how many people there were around from Bristol who were really engaged in the whole project and the event itself. I then thought, wouldn't it be great for me to do that myself, and have a My LinkedIn local event and really start to leverage those contacts that I have. So I've got about over 650, something like that. I set up my business about 9 months ago. So I've done reasonably well, I guess, with the number of contacts I have. But every time I speak to people, I'm told that I need to increase that, increase that, increase that. And I don't disagree at all with that. But what I also think is that you need to look at how you're going to leverage the contacts that you already have, because you want to generate loyalty with those and really get them through the sales funnel. But you also want to find new people as well that can sit at the top of your sales hopper, if you like. So I spoke to somebody at LinkedIn Local, and they said, do you know what, if you get interest of 50 people, we'll think about it. So I thought, right, that's a pretty good challenge. It's quite easy to walk away from, but I thought, no, I'm going to do this. So I put out a post, and really interesting was I've got about 7 people who replied to me, which I thought, in 24 hours that's pretty good. But it just didn't feel like there was enough energy behind. So 7 or 8 people out of my 640, I thought was fairly low in terms of percentage levels. So I thought, okay, I'll start to DM some of these people, and see what I get. And I got some quite interesting results. So yeah, messaging people directly, especially if they've seen your feed, really works well if you explain to them what you want to do and why. And I had a lot of positive feedback, a lot of feedback that was relatively passive as well. But within a week, I have my 50 contacts. And I think really what I wanted to say today was not only get out there and just believe in yourself and really do it and go for it, despite any obstacles that you may have, because I was given a challenge of 50, which wasn't massive, but I know that it was a bit of a test to see whether I'm really that involved and that interested. So now looking over at the whole process, what I would know is that I have learnt 3 things about some of my network connections. First of all, it was limited to the southwest area, so that's only a percentage of my list. So 50 out of 650, something like that. So relatively small percentage. But out of that, I noticed 3 types. There was one which was, they are your champion. They are totally on your side. They're enthusiastic people, optimistic, really positive. Doesn't matter what you do, they will support you, they will like you, they will put on comments. If you're having an event, they'll come. They are your real advocates, and you need to keep them as close to you as possible. Then you've got those positive connections who really like some of the stuff that you're doing, really like what you're saying. And if they can make something support you, they definitely will. So they're not really at the core, they're not your avid fan, but they're certainly in the circle around that. And these people are absolutely critical. So your avid fans will definitely communicate your message, but this next circle of people are those who really need to be warmed up, who like you, know about you, have responded to you, but for whatever reason you haven't really got into their heads yet. So those are the people that you really need to talk to. You need to look at their own networking links and really see how much you can leverage that. And then the last are those people who are pretty far away from you, like what you're saying, but just not really that close. And those are your third targets. Those people are the people that are right at the top of the funnel. You need to do a job on them, definitely, but you should start with your avid fans and the next circle first, and then really sort of broaden out and have a look at them. Of course, while you're doing that, it's absolutely critical to have new contacts as well. But this is what I noticed. And I find this really, really powerful. So not only going out to get new contacts, but really making the most of what you have, leveraging that, seeing what you can do together, having a conversation, which I think is incredibly important. So I will be setting up my LinkedIn local event, as I've been calling it, in the next couple of months to see how we can leverage that power and that communication and maybe do some business together and maybe help out the Southwest region as well. The other thing I would say that I've learned is that it's an incredibly difficult ask to get people to commit to this sort of event. You've got to be out there networking, you've got to be positive, you've got to be energetic, enthusiastic. Don't let anybody stop you. Think about building the story. So I got a little bit of energy behind what I was doing, and then I started promoting that and talking about how I'd done it, how many people I got on my side. It's absolutely critical to work really hard and work through it and really believe in yourself. And that's not always the most comfortable position to be, I know from my own experience, but it does work. And that is real networking, as far as I'm concerned. Real networking is pulling out those contacts that you've already made, having a dialogue with them, really offering them something, a conversation, an event, something new, getting them, empowering them to come along, get them interested. This to me is the real power of networking, and this is the real power of LinkedIn.